They can't resist you, not because you're chasing, not because you're trying, but because you've become the version of yourself that love can't ignore. The moment you stop needing validation and start feeling loved within, everything and everyone begins to orbit around that energy. Because the moment you feel loved inside, you stop operating from lack. You stop chasing signs, overthinking messages, and waiting for someone else to complete you. And that change in energy is powerful because people don't respond to your neediness, they respond to your state. When you are full, calm, and certain within yourself, they naturally feel that shift. That's why they can't resist you. The truth is, love is not something you hunt down in the outer world. Love begins in consciousness first. The relationship you want, the closeness you crave, the feeling of being chosen, all of it starts inside you long before it appears in 3D. Most people look at the physical world and think that is the starting point. But the physical world is only the final reflection. The real beginning is always invisible. It begins in imagination, in assumption, in the state you carry every day. So when you say, I am loved, you are not speaking a lie. You are speaking from the reality you are choosing to live in. You are not trying to force something into existence. You are occupying a state that already contains it. And once you understand that, the whole game changes. You stop acting like a person waiting for love and start behaving like someone who is already loved. That shift alone changes everything. People often get trapped because they keep asking the 3D for proof. They want the text first, the sign first, the effort first, the attention first. But the 3D is not the source. It is only the echo. If you keep waiting for the echo before you speak, you will stay stuck forever. You have to speak first from within. You have to assume first. You have to feel first. Then the world begins to reflect it back. That is why your inner world matters more than any outer delay. The beautiful thing is that the 3D does not need to be fought. It only needs to be ignored when it is showing you the old story. If the outer world still looks silent, that does not mean your manifestation failed. It means the old assumptions are still draining out. The mirror is still catching up, but your job is not to panic and go back to the old thoughts. Your job is to stay loyal to the new version of you, the version that feels wanted, the version that feels secure. The version that knows love is already present in consciousness. This is where most people give up too early. They change their affirmations, but not their identity. They repeat the words, but inside they still feel separated, undesired, or uncertain. And that is why nothing feels stable. Manifestation is not about performing affirmations like a ritual. It is about becoming the person who naturally thinks and feels from the end. If you truly believe you are loved, your mind softens, your body relaxes, your energy changes. You no longer move like someone begging for scraps. You move like someone who already belongs. And that is what makes people feel drawn to you, not because of pressure, but because of presence. Not because of chasing, but because of peace. A person who is internally full has a different kind of gravity. They are not desperate for love, so love feels safe around them. They're not trying to extract attention, so attention comes naturally. They're not checking every hour to see if something has happened, so they no longer block the very thing they want. They create space for love to land. Imagine for a moment that the relationship you desire is already yours in imagination. Imagine the feeling of waking up with that quiet certainty. No anxiety, no overthinking, no wondering if you are enough. Just a steady knowing that love belongs to you. That feeling may seem small, but it is everything. Because manifestation is not about grand displays at first. It is about inner familiarity. The more natural the feeling becomes, the more natural the outer result becomes too. You are always impressing your subconscious. Every assumption, every reaction, every little story you repeat becomes part of your identity. If you keep saying, love never works for me, the mind accepts that as normal. If you keep saying, people never choose me, the mind stores that too. But the same mind can be trained in a new direction. You can begin saying, I am desired, I am chosen, I am loved. And if you continue until it feels normal, your whole experience begins to reorganize itself. That is why consistency matters. Not forceful repetition, but gentle repetition with faith. You do not need to fight yourself. You only need to keep returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Every time doubt appears, do not make it your home. Let it pass and come back to the state that feels like love. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. And once it becomes natural, it becomes your reality. The 3D often makes people impatient because it shows yesterday's beliefs. That is why it can feel like nothing is changing. But nothing visible ever changes before the invisible does. The inner shift always comes first. So if you have decided that you are loved, then stay there, even when the outer world is slow. Do not make the outer world your authority. Make consciousness your authority. That is how you become stable. That is how you stop wobbling every time reality looks quiet. Think about how a seed grows. You do not plant it and dig it up every hour to see if it is working. You water it, leave it alone, and trust the process. Your desires are the same. The moment you accept them inwardly, they begin their work beneath the surface. But if you keep digging them up with doubt, you interrupt the process. Peace grows where panic cannot. Certainty allows the seed to expand. This is why it is so important to stop needing proof. Neediness keeps you locked in separation. Certainty brings you into union. When you know something is yours in consciousness, you do not need to chase it outside. You simply live from it. That does not mean pretending. It means aligning. It means choosing the identity that matches the reality you want to experience. And once you live from that identity long enough, the outer world has no choice but to catch up. The person you desire is not the real point. The real point is the version of you who feels loved without begging for it. Because when you become that version, every relationship shifts. Even if the person you want appears, the bigger gift is that you no longer depend on them to define you. You become emotionally free. You become calm. You become magnetic. And from that place, love becomes far easier to experience. So if you are manifesting love, stop asking, why is it taking so long? Ask instead, am I living as the loved version of myself? That question changes everything. Because your state is the answer. The world is only a reflection of that answer. If your state says lack, the world mirrors lack. If your state says love, the world mirrors love. This is not punishment. This is simply how consciousness works. The best part is that you do not have to become perfect. You only have to stay aware. The old state may try to pull you back with fear, impatience, or doubt. But you are not that old state anymore, unless you choose to be. You are free to return to love at any moment. You are free to assume the best. You are free to embody the version of you who is already adored. And the more often you return, the stronger that identity becomes. So let the world be quiet for now, if it has to be quiet. Let the signs come later. Let the timing unfold on its own. Your only job is to remain in the state of being loved, not someday loved, not after they text you loved, not after they prove it loved, but now, right now, in this very moment. Because the moment you feel loved inside, you become the person love can find. And when you become that person, they can't resist you. I hope this helped you. I will meet you with another golden nugget soon. Happy manifesting.